Hey folks, and welcome to another Blue Player solo play, and I have another special treat for you. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Kickstarter game called Infinities, Defiance of Fate. Now, this is a 4X light style game for 1 to 4 players, plays 30 minutes per player, and is for ages 13 and up. Now the game is interesting in that not only is it this odd sort of space sci-fi fantasy theme, but the fact that it can be played in 2 modes. You can play this in a skirmish mode, which I've played several times and I really enjoy, and that is you're playing a 1 versus 1 or teams versus teams. You're playing for points, you're exploring the map as you go. Or you can play this in a story mode, which I haven't played yet, but we're going to be kind of playing today. Because in that story mode, you can play as a campaign, you can play as a one-off, and it even has a soft legacy sort of thing where you're not messing up any of your components so you can easily reset. But within that story mode is Solo Quest. And what I think is really cool here is they're releasing Solo Quest for each of the leaders in the game. So I'm going to be taking Orin here, the Master of Ash, out for his Solo Quest. Now, a quick couple notes here. The first being is this is a Kickstarter game and this is a prototype copy. So as you see, some of the artwork's not final. These are not final components. So keep that in mind as you're watching it. These dice here are currently stickered, etc. In addition, the game is going to come with these standees, which are really nice, and I love the way they look on the table. Unfortunately, they don't really work for this camera view, so instead I'm going to be using these meeples that I got from Meeple Source, and I'm going to be using this white one here as our enemy, who is called the Soul Cloud, and this one is going to represent us as Orin. There's also some changes to the way we set up in this. You'll notice we already have a map built out. We do have some limited exploration options, but for the most part, the map's been built. We've also only using the Vara tiles and the Vara deck here, and we've separated out the units and put them into a shared discard pile. In addition, I've selected 5 actions. I've prepared 3 of them, and I have 2 in my hand. The rest of the actions were removed from the game. Now, our AI player is not going to have any leader card, but he is going to be able to build out units over here. In addition, you'll notice that I have this here for points, but we're not actually going to be keeping points in this game. I'm only using it for the turn order if that changes. Now, since this is a solo mode and it has this backstory, I decided that while I read the rules for the setup and things like that, I decided not to read the story yet. I thought I would read that here live because I haven't played it, I haven't read it. I don't know what we're doing other than the enemy is the Soul Cloud. So if you'll pardon me, I'm going to go ahead and read this, and this will set the tone for how we play this, I hope. So the story is called A Taste for Souls, the Orin Solo Quest. The apprentice Akel awakens in a panic. Faint sunlight outlines the entrance to the cave he restlessly slept in. Ember Crown, he stammers. The unmade bedding near him is shifted in the night, likely a play of the wind. His eyes are wild, aglow in light of what has come to him in a dream vision. In the desert, Orin circumnavigates villages and cities, trade routes, and glass-paved trails. His master had taught him many things, one of which being to keep a safe distance from civilization. They are not ignorant, the master asserted, but they are resistant. Shadowcraft, playing with the dead, desecration. They had many names for the master's ashen magic. Her vision, however, was one of unending life, health, and prosperity for the Akel. It would set them apart from the rest of the world. Orin had asked how long it would take to perfect. The master was sure she would not live to do so. She was right. At the foot of the solar world spine, near the center of Vara, lies a shimmering glass city, Ember Crown. Beneath the city is a sprawling catacomb filled with the ashes of the recently and long ago deceased. The ritual, in theory, would be simple. Meditate beyond his senses on the sea of ashes and summon fragments of the departed souls. The difficulty is that it would mean surrendering part of himself. Sight or hearing, he does not know. Fleeting or forever, he does not know. But it is a risk he is glad to take to see his master's face once more in the flesh rather than the dream world. After sneaking his way into the catacombs concealed beneath a cloak, Orin pries open dozens of plates from the walls. Ashes pour out, filling the air with dark, smoke-like plumes. He rests on both knees and begins the ritual. An hour passes in silence. Deep breaths of the heavy air report a bitter taste in the back of Orin's throat as the master's words echo in his thoughts. You cannot ask a soul for permission. Consume them as though they belong to you. Orin struggles to swallow the fistful of ashes he poured into his mouth. Only a few heartbeats later, the sound of the hallway slowly exhaling surrounds Orin. Voices bounce inside his skull. He pulls at his scales and they give way. Orin scrambles to his feet and flees on gasping, ragged breaths. A great terror has awakened inside of the catacomb. Though terror chills his blood, Orin knows the burden rests with him to contain it or wield it. That was really cool, and now I know what this Soul of Clouds is, and I know that we brought it into this world. So that's interesting. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and just dive right into this game. Now, the AI will be following its own rules as to what it does with the dice, and we'll cover that as we go. We do have 2 potential loss conditions and 1 win condition for this particular solo game. The first loss condition is called Convergence. If ever there are 5 units in the Soul Clouds group, then we will lose. And that's going to be loss condition A. Loss condition B is called Lost Souls, if this discard pile ever has no cards. And then our objective, our win, is objective C, which is called Sealed, and we need to control all tiles in the second ring around Ember Crown, which means these 12 tiles on the outside. And based on how this ends depends on what part of this we're going to read. Now I'm going to be leaving this here just as a reference, but maybe don't read it while we're playing. All right, so beyond that, we are still going to follow the normal round phases with 1 change that we'll talk about here in a minute. And we'll go ahead and get started. I'll explain some of the rules as we move along. Now the first thing that's going to happen is we're each going to lock in a die matching where we're at. So he's going to lock in this energy and we're going to lock in this star die. Now this is where a change happens, is because we're not going to be drawing and discarding at the end of a round. At the beginning, we may choose to draw any number of cards from the discard pile into our hand and gain reaction tokens based on that. However, we're not going to be able to get any because we're full, but I do want some cards. So I think we're going to take 1, 2, I think we'll just take 2 for the moment. All right, only because I really like this one. Now what's going to happen is we're going to roll his dice, and he does not get any rerolls. So whatever he rolls is what he rolls. Now we do have the option to reroll if we wish, but it's an all or nothing thing. And we're definitely going to re-roll those. And that's not much better, but we will accept it. All right, so now in turn order, each player is going to spend dice to take an action and back and forth until we're out of dice. So starting with me, we've got this little wild card. The star allows us to use any of the basic actions. We have this attack, the power, that allows us to target a group and roll against it. Or I have a special action on my leader card where I can discard a unit and destroy a unit of equal or less defense, which actually is a pretty good action. And then we also have the ability to do an energy and a plus to play an action card, resolve it, and then instead of discarding it, draw it back. You'll notice we have the timeline here. Currently we are restricted to 3. These are prepared cards. It allows me to save cards over here for use. My group will go here. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to spend this wild right off the bat, and I think I'm going to spend it as a move. Now when you move, you can move up to 2 spaces, and you may choose to control along the way. So I'm going to move here, and I'm going to go ahead and choose to control that, which is going to move up our energy, and then I'm going to choose to move again and do it again, which is going to now move this up. Now this tile here is interesting, these 4-2 tiles. If you exit one of those, you can exit them as normal, or you can choose to warp anywhere that has that plus symbol or that star symbol. But for right now, I'm going to stay there. Moving to him, he resolves an order, which means he's going to resolve this energy, play the topmost unit to his group. So he's going to take this unit and place it in his group. Now we're going to be coming back to here. I'm actually going to play this action, but I'm going to play it here. Discard a unit and destroy, because that'll allow me to just get rid of something of his. And I'm actually going to use this Elder Scale Savage that I'm going to discard, and then I'm going to get rid of this. Now he's just going to bring it back, but I want to maintain this line over here. Now moving back to him, he's going to do the star, which allows him to do this action again, but then he's going to get rid of some cards. So he's going to bring this back into play, and then he's going to remove 1 card from the discard per unit in his group. So he has 2. So we will throw out these 2 cards. Moving back to us, we have 2 pluses, which by themselves can't do anything, but we can use a plus as an action to change a die to something else. Now the question is, what do we want to change it to? Now, I'm thinking I might want to try to move and start getting some more control here, and that'll get my attack up. But I also could change it and take care of something else because he doesn't have this. But I also could put a unit out here as a sacrificial lamb. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to change this die to an energy die because I want to try to have a sacrificial lamb. So now we're going to move back to him. He's going to bring out a unit and then discard 3 units from the deck. These are lost from the game completely. And then we come back to us. We're going to do this, and we're going to put this Dragon Fist Monk out. Now, I really actually wanted this Dragon Fist Monk, and I know he's going to destroy it, but I didn't want to lose my action card here. Now this is, a Dragon Fist Monk has an ability that now adds to my actions, and then I could spend these blue dice as attack actions, but roll with the blue instead. So it's got a nice thing going on there. But for right now, it's just going to have to stay as is, because we're going to come back to him, and he's going to attack. For the attack, he'll destroy the leftmost card in our group, and if there's nothing there, then he would move to the timeline. So he's going to destroy this. But wait! I can do a reaction. This allows me to prepare the top card of the discard pile, and I could spend one of these to do it and then play a unit if I roll against a fortitude check. However, the problem is I don't have space to prepare a card, so that's not going to be able to happen. But hopefully you'll be able to see how that works a little later. So that's going to end the first round for us. Now, if I had space here, I could prepare a card from my hand, but I don't. So we will move right back into the start, because in a normal skirmish game, we would be discarding and things like that and triggering rifts, but that doesn't happen in this. So we go right back to the beginning. He is going to prepare this die. We are going to prepare a green die, because that's where we're at, and actually good, because I want to move forward. And then I'm going to get to choose to take cards. Well, I want that Dragon Fist Monk, so I'm going to take 1. I think I'm going to take 2. I'm going to do that so that I get 2 reaction tokens. All right. Now let's go ahead and roll for him. He has an attack. He has a green, fortitude, and a plus. Now that's an interesting die, and I'll show you how that works when we get to it. Let's roll up. We have 2 attacks and a wild. Ooh, you know what? I like it. Let's go with it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spend this to move. I'm going to move here, and I'm going to go ahead and control it. That's going to move our red up, powering these up a little more. And this, when you're in a red one, you can ignore walls for purposes of reach and movement, but I don't need to do that right now. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go ahead and control that as well, because it's part of our particular thing. So currently we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of the 12 that we need. All right, so that's going to complete us. We'll move to him. He's going to summon a unit, which now puts him close, but I know that he's not going to be summoning anything else this round, so let's just try to take out what he's got. So the first thing I'm going to do is, now I actually don't need that dragon because we don't have it, but he is going to be attacking, so we're going to need a sacrificial lamb. So let's go ahead. All right, so we're going to play this here as the energy to bring this Sun Lizard Brood out. Now, the Sun Lizard Brood allows us to spend a red die to destroy a unit whose single die action matches your tile's type, or a double action with one of these and a plus to destroy up to 2 control tokens, which hopefully should be interesting, but I already know he's going to be getting rid of it. All right, so now we're going to do his control, which he controls 1 adjacent. Ooh, we made a bad call there, because I forgot he was going to be doing this. We should have destroyed one of his units. But we already made our decision, so he's going to control 1 adjacent tile it does not already control per unit in his group. So what's going to happen is he is going to prioritize based on high numbers. We're going to need to get this. So he's going to go here to the 4. He's going to go to this 4. Then he's going to go to this 3 maybe, and then we'll go to this 3. That was a bad call. At least if we had destroyed one of his, he would have only taken 3. But it happens. So now coming back to us, We could roll against one of these. We could take one of these too. This is until end of round, your groups are immune to destruction. Ooh, if we played, oh, we can't because we don't have the ability to play it. All right, so we're going to do this here. And what we're going to do is we're going to we're just going to destroy one of his units. Because my current tile is this, so let's just destroy that one and call it a day. So moving back to him, he's going to attack. He's going to destroy this. Now again, we could do the thing here, but I haven't done this, so we're out of luck there. And now for us, we will do this attack die here. That's going to allow us to roll 2, but we have a +2 to the results. We'll take this one, but keep in mind that that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we have to roll a 9 here. And we don't have anything that's going to allow us to get any better. So whatever we roll +2 has to equal a 9. What do you know? We got it. We got 2 5s. So that's 12, so we destroy his unit. His last action here will be this. He'll remove one random card from our hand. He got rid of my Dragon Fist Monk that I've been trying to get out. And he will add 1 die to his actions for the next round. All right, so that's going to bring us to another end of a round. Again, I can't prepare a card. I really need to spend one of these cards. But, so we'll go ahead and move back to the beginning. He is still in the same place, but depending on how he rolls, he may not. We will be preparing a wild this time, the star. I am going to take 1, 2... Let's just take, let's take 3 cards. Let's see how this works out. Because that'll maybe work out better. So we'll take 3. We can only gain 2 reaction tokens. So I'll put these out here. And then we will roll his dice. Now he's got an extra one this time. So he's got one of these. That's not too bad. We know he's going to be summoning 3, so we have to get rid of some units. At least 1. All right, so if I kept that, that gives me the ability to play an action card and resolve it. Ooh. This is going to be a really good move for us. So, we're going to keep it. Oh, that was a blue. All right, so starting here, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to play these as a combination. And I'm going to do Feed the Flames. This destroys 1 unit from all groups anywhere, and I gain a reaction per unit, which I don't have. But it doesn't matter. I have nothing grouped, so I'm not going to lose anything. But he is. So he's going to get destroyed. But because I'm doing it here, I get to take the card right back to my hand. Now he's going to do this, and he's going to bring the unit back out, but that's fine, because then I'm going to immediately do this as the same action. This time we will lose it, and I'm going to destroy it again. He's going to play that. He's going to bring it back out. It's appropriate that that's a phoenix. It keeps rising from the ashes. All right, so coming back here, now I have this. Now this is destroy. I could play this, maybe destroy 1 card of a leader adjacent to a tile you control anywhere. Well, nope, he's not there, so that's not going to do me any good. I could put out a monster, or I could look at this. So this one allows me to control my current tile for free. If I already control it, then I can do 2 adjacents. So that's pretty good. I kind of really like that one. This one is until end of round. Your group units are immune, but this is helping us. And this one is basically a debuff, so it really doesn't help us out. Or we could put out a unit, and I kind of like the idea of putting a unit out. So we're going to actually, you know what? I kind of like the idea of moving, now that I think about it. Because I think I'd like to go like this. I'm going to play this as a move. So we're going to go 1 here, and we're going to control that tile. And then we're going to go here, and we're going to control that tile, and that's going to bring us up here. Now what that's going to do is it's going to allow us to increase the limit up here of our groups, which isn't really an issue just yet, but it is now adding 3 dice to fortitude checks, so I do like that idea. Okay, so that's going to end our turn. Now unfortunately he still has 3 actions because we double spent a die and then went there, and he had an extra one. So first this is going to happen. He's going to perform this action again, bringing out another unit. And we're going to lose this because he's going to remove 3 cards. So we are going to lose our Feed the Flames. But you know what? It did us well. So that's going to take care of that. Then he's going to do the control. Now this is interesting because his control is going to happen is he's going to do 1 per he doesn't do for 3. However, if he runs out of ones to control that are adjacent, he's going to warp and control that. And unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. So he's going to take this control from us. He's going to take this control from us. We're going to go down in this green. And then because he has nothing else to control, he's going to warp to the highest star tile that he can, that he doesn't control, and take over, which is bad because that's this one, which means he's going to take that control from us as well. Now, I did just make a slight error, and I'm going to fix it. Whenever you tokens are destroyed on here, if you have slots, you can bring them back, so we actually do get to take our reaction tokens here. Now, again, had I had prepared here, I would be able to take a reaction because tokens are being destroyed. We really need to clean that up. I think I made a bad decision in the cards that I prepared. So now we'll do this, remove 1 random card from our hand. Let's go with this one. That's going to be a Sun Lizard Brood. I'm okay with that. And then he's going to add a die to his action, of which he already had the extra. All right, so that's going to put us to the end of a round. It's not looking good. We do still have 4 of these, and he's controlled. So we're kind of playing control maintenance at the moment. So let's go ahead and lock in his die. Now he's going to lock in this, which is kind of brutal. I wish I had a way to move him. I think there's some cards that allow me to move him. So let's try to get one of those. And for us, we're going to lock in this green. Now one thing I do like to do is check and make sure that I'm still good on my numbers. I should have 1 blue, which I'm up on. I should have 1 green and 1 red, so we're still good. All right, let's go ahead and decide if I want any cards. I think I do want 2 cards. And let's roll him up. Ooh, so I know he's summoning 3 times. He's going to do a control action, which is going to make him warp again. And he's going to then get an additional die and remove a card. It's not looking good for us, but I was warned that it's really, really difficult to win this game the first time. We'll roll up. Ooh, that's a lot of basic actions, but I don't hate it. Let's go ahead and do it. Only because I see a way that I can do it with my Sage here. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going... Ooh, I can actually use this one now. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to destroy 1 card of a leader adjacent. So we will destroy this card here. Then we can do a check, and that's what I wanted to show you. So this one allows me to do a check against energy. Now it's an 8. I'm going to be rolling 2 dice, and I do have a +1 or +2 currently. So I get to roll 2 dice, and as long as I get an 8 or better, then I'll get to destroy the control token in his tile. So we just need a 6 on the dice. We get a 12. Of course we do. You know, you always get the better rolls when you don't really need them. But we get to destroy a control token. Okay, moving on to him, he is going to do a summon, of which will be this card here. And then moving back to us. Now I know he's summoning 2 more times, so I have to destroy at least 1 more from him. Now I currently roll 2 on attacks, but he's got 1, 2, 3, what he's got, 6, 7. So even at best, those are 11s. How can we make this to our full advantage? Well, if I look at this, I think we're just going to have to go straight attacks because none of these units have anything that's going to help me out. What I was hoping to do is something that would get rid of a unit. Although, no, so we don't have this. We would need one of these symbols here, so we don't have this ability. All right, so we're just going to go straight attacks. And let's hope that our dice rolling holds up because otherwise we're done. All right, so I'm going to attack this 4, which means it's going to actually be an 11. We do have a +2 to our roll, so we have to roll a 9. We get a 10. Wow. So that's 10, 12 to 11. We do destroy his card. Unbelievable. We have been staved off by the fact that I apparently can roll dice for once. All right, so he's going to do this. He's going to perform the summon. He's going to bring it right back, obviously. And then he is going to remove some cards. This time it's going to be 3. So 1, 2, and 3. I'm more worried about this, honestly, now. All right, coming back to us. I don't have to worry as much, but if I can destroy a card, I want to. Because he's going to be doing control here. He's going to be taking control of these and then warping. And then he's going to be removing a random card from our hand. Well, I don't think putting out any units are really going to help us. All right, so we're gonna take this. So we're gonna take this. This means we can control our current tile for free, thus kicking him out of that one, which will help us out. And it'll move us up on this track. We'll spend that card. All right, now we know we're going to be losing that card, but that's fine because what's going to happen is he's going to do this. He's going to bring out another unit. And then he's going to discard 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now it comes back to us. Now I'm feeling a little better because now I can actually do this. This is going to be a movement, and I am going to move. I think I'm going to do 1 here, and I'm going to control this one. Now you notice when I controlled this one with that card that I didn't spend from here. It's because the card allowed me to do it for free. So I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to control that, bringing my green up to here, which now means any tile that I'm on is always considered to have this warp ability on it. All right, now we'll move back to him. He's going to do the control, as we said a few minutes ago, and he's going to control these 2. So he's going to kick us out of this one, of which we will talk about that here in a second. So he will control those 2. And then, oh, he's already in this one, so that's going to give him that. And then, so he has the 3 there, and then he's going to warp. We'll warp him to here. He probably would warp there, but you know what? We're getting our butts handed to us, so I'm going to warp him there instead. It seems like the AI would be more likely to go somewhere I control, but I'm just going to roll with it. All right, then his last one is he's going to remove a random card from our hand. I actually care less about the cards now. We're going to lose this one. And he will add a die to his roll, so he'll keep that. All right, end of round. I'm worried about taking cards now because we don't have a lot left in this deck. I'm going to flip it over and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's pretty low. I think we're just going to try to work with what we got. I'm pretty sure I've lost, but you know what? That's fine. All right, so he's going to lock in a star. We are going to lock in a green, and then we will roll his dice, which means no matter what, he's summoning right there. Let's hope he doesn't roll any more summons. Oh, wow. He did not roll any summons. However, the next round, he's going to be rolling a ton of dice. So I think we're pretty much done for. We could use some attacks now. That is not attacks. This is going to seem odd, but we're actually going to do it. I'm going to keep this. It's going to be an interesting move. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going... Oh wait, I can't do this because I need to be able to summon the creature. Alright, we're going to have to re-roll them. I need to be able to summon. Let's hope this doesn't blow up. Because I have a creature in here that I want, a unit that I want to bring out. We can make this work with this, I think. It was important that I had one of these. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring out the person that I want, which is going to be with this blue die, because I don't really have an action card that I want back. So we will use that. This means that I can spend a green to control a tile. Alright, so now moving back to him, Oh, wait a second. We didn't even pay attention. You know what? Let's undo that because I realized he's just going to summon. I couldn't do that as my first action. So actually, we're going to spend this one as an attack. And we will try to attack... That didn't work out. We'll try to attack this. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's going to be 14. We have to roll a 12. All right. Let's make some magic happen. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. 14. We have to roll a 12 or this game is over. And we roll a 5. Our luck has run out. So that's going to be us. And then he's going to do this, which is going to cause him to summon this unit, thus causing convergence. There are now 5 units in his group. Well, we had a good run. Just so I show what I was planning on doing, just to give you an idea, is if I got this guy out, then it would allow me to control tiles. So I'd be able to move in. I would do 1 here. I'd move here. I'd be able to take control. I wouldn't be able to move to this one, but I'd be able to move in through here. I'd be able to take control of tiles from him. So the idea is I can move out of here. I can warp, and this would allow me to override his control token. And he would have the ability to do these. So it might have worked out, but this was too dangerous for us. Okay, so we have lost on convergence, which means we are going to read letter A, quest ending. So you pull this out and you read the ending. So here we go. If convergence ends the game, a hulking ashen arm materializes from the catacombs and out beyond Embercrown, casting a great shadow over its shining domes and torches. The limb grasps at the desert beyond Embercrown and digs its ghostly claws into the sand surrounding Orin. Trapped beneath the clouds new formed, overflowing ash falls from Orin's mouth, eyes, and nose. His scales slowly separate and expose cracked gray flesh. This was the risk he knew existed in the ritual. Like his master, he would not live to see the perfection of ashen magic. Oh, that is sad. That is a full-blown loss. We have died. We just got overran. But you know what? I still had a great time. And one thing I realized about this as I was setting it up is what's interesting is I knew I'd lost a few rounds ago mostly, is how easy it is to reset this. So I'm actually going to show you how simple it is to reset this. If you've lost and you want to play again, in fact, I want to play this again. Like, I absolutely want to play this game again. So all you have to do is separate out the units. So this is, I really, really like this game a lot. And the thing is so we lost, and we lost terribly. But I immediately want to play this again. I want to take another crack at it, even if I end up losing again. So we'll put the units there. We'll shuffle those up. We'll take the top unit. We'll place it there. We'll place our dice. We'll reset these. Give us our initiative tokens. We'll remove all the rest of these. So you just pull all of these tokens off but one for each person. and then decide where I want to start him. I think maybe I'd start him here this time instead. So I'd take out my control token, move him back to his 4 dice. Looks like we mixed those up, but that's fine. Take the cards. We could choose to change them out, or we could go ahead and just prepare 3 that we want, which I wish I had prepared that one. We'll take those 2, put them there, and that's it. We're ready to go again. And that's something I really, really love in a solo game. I love when I can just set the game up on the table, I can play, and if I lose, I can just start over. I can play again, but quickly. I don't have to go through a lot of resetting everything up. And I think that's one of the advantages of these maps. Now, one thing I did realize in this map is this isn't meant to be random. This is actually part of the puzzle built into the game. When I'm setting up these tiles, I can try to decide some optimal ways. Now, there's some rules in it that these particular ones with the stars on them, they need to be on that side if they have the star. But that's it. There's no other real rules to it. And so I think that's really interesting that that's a puzzle in itself, because there's definitely ways I could have set this up differently. So overall, I just had a blast playing this. I know I lost, and I know looking back that I did mess one thing up, and it wasn't really until after he warped. When he warped, the turn order should have changed. Now, it's not too big of a deal. He had tons of dice, and maybe we would have lost a round earlier. It's not the worst thing in the world. In fact, I don't really think it affects things too much, especially since we lost anyway. We definitely wouldn't have won the other way. So that really doesn't bother me. Next time I play, I will remember to do that. But overall, I really like this game. I love the complexity of it built in with this simple rule set. There's only these actions here. I play a card, I target, I move, I convert, I use any of my actions. Then it's me building additional actions. And one thing we didn't really have in this game like shown is these cards here, when they're prepared, they also have extra things. So this Feed the Flames, when it's prepared, all group units anywhere have -2 defense. It would have been great if I'd had that prepared. This one here, my group units have +2 defense, so these two cancel each other out for my own people. And a lot of these enemies have prepared effects as well. If we go through them, let's see here. Well, yes, here we go. The Dragon Fist Monk. Prepared, your unsuccessful reaction checks refund the spent token. And those reactions are pretty cool too, and you didn't really see me do one, but they're really, really cool. If you destroy a token, if someone destroys one of your tokens or one of your cards, you get to spend a reaction token and then do this, and then you can do a fortitude check against it. So there's a lot of little things in this game that really add up to this wonderful experience. And I'm already, as soon as I'm done editing this video, I'm going to play this again. I'm going to try to win this, or at least maybe see how B ends, the discard pile running out of cards. I guess we could have tried to force that one instead. I'm feeling like it's probably less of a defeat than what we did. And I'm excited to see, because there are so many other leaders in the game. The game comes with a bunch. There's this one, and then, let's see. So many leaders. And the fact that all of these leaders in the base game are going to have their own solo stories means this game is going to just have so much solo replayability. And that is something I absolutely love and look for in a solo game. I love this game in the skirmish mode. I know based on this that I'm probably going to love the whole campaign, soft legacy, story mode with other people, and I really, really, really love this solo game. So I hope that you've enjoyed this playthrough of the Orin solo quest for Infinities, Defiance of Fate. I know that I had a lot of fun playing it, and again, I'm going to play it again. And I also look forward to seeing you folks in the next episode.